health and peace and happiness for everyone. Petach libi betoratecha ve'acharei mitzvotecha tirdof nafshi. Open my heart to your Torah, and my soul shall pursue your mitzvot. Parashat Shmot, Tafshin Pei Aleph. We enter into Sefer Shmot, the Chumash that tells us the story of the enslavement of Am Yisrael in Mitzrayim and the story of Yetziat Mitzrayim, how we became free from that slavery. This story is certainly one of the major influences, if not the major source of influence, that brought to the world the value of freedom. Do I identify with the modern Western value of freedom? The answer is yes, I do. And also, no, I don't. How can I also identify with this value and also not identify with this value? I'd like to explain this, and in order to explain this, I'd like to notice the structure of Sefer Shmot. The book begins with the story of the enslavement, continues with Aseret Hamakot, until Yetziat Mitzrayim, until we leave Mitzrayim, Kriyat Yamsuf, the splitting of the sea, and then Bnei Israel are free. The Chumash, the story should have ended there, but it continues with Ma'amad Har Sinai, Matan Torah, the revelation, Hashem revealing Himself to Am Yisrael, giving the Torah to Bnei Israel, and the story doesn't end there. It continues with the commandment to build the Mishkan, the story of how Am Yisrael built the temple, the Mishkan, and then the Shekhinah, the divine presence, dwells in Am Yisrael. That's where Sefer Shmot ends. But the story of the Mishkan continues in Sefer Vayikra. Shouldn't the division between Sefer Shmot and Vayikra should have been different? Well, maybe Sefer Shmot would be too short and Sefer Vayikra would be too long. That seems just an external reason. Isn't there a more essential, a more intrinsic reason why this is the structure and the division between Sefer Shmot and Sefer Vayikra? Sure enough, Ramban in his introduction to Sefer Shmot says that this structure gives us the message that the Yetziat Mitzrayim, the freedom of Am Yisrael, is not complete until we go through Matan Torah, getting the Torah from Hashem, from heaven, and building the Mishkan and having the divine presence within Am Yisrael. Because freedom is not only freedom from, it's freedom for, it's freedom to. What is the goal of freedom? It's not only to be free from the enslavement of the Egyptians, it's to be free to live according to the values of the Torah, to live with the divine presence, with the holiness of Hashem within us. The Torah says, Shalach et ami, let my people go. That's not accurate. The Torah says that many times, but it never says only, Shalach et ami, let my people go. It always says, Shalach et ami v'avduni, let my people go so that they will serve me. Shalach et ami v'achogu li bamidbar. Let my people go and they will celebrate in my name in the desert. It is never only let my people go, that's it. Let my people go because there is a purpose to letting my people go. The modern value of freedom is freedom from, but its weakness is that it doesn't have a clear vision of freedom to where is it going? What are the values that give us a direction, that give us a commitment to what are we going to do with our freedom? The Torah includes also the value of being free from enslavement, but also expects and guides us to accept upon ourselves what are we committed to, what are we going to do with our freedom. Therefore, I identify with the value, the modern value of yes, every person has the right to be free from any kind of enslavement. Every human being is created b'tselem Elohim. There is a godly quality in the soul and the neshama of every person, and therefore he has the right to be free from enslavement. But that's not enough. Every person should also ask himself, what am I going to do with my freedom? What is the direction? What am I going to be committed to doing in the world with my freedom? Not only freedom from, also freedom to. And therefore, I will identify with the value of being free from enslavement. I will fight for every human being's right to have that value of being free from enslavement. But I also would like to see in the world freedom to commitment to certain values. You can't force freedom to be committed to values. You cannot enforce freedom in a certain direction. So I can't forcefully bring that to the world, and that would be void of any value. But I am committed myself to try and influence the world, to influence society, so that freedom will not only be a value of being free from enslavement, but also be a value of being free and committed to bringing certain values to the world. And that, I believe, is the complete Torah of Hashem. Freedom from enslavement, freedom to commitment to values. And it certainly has to do also with emunah, with believing that there is a higher force. It's not only my right to be free from enslavement, it is also my commitment to be my freedom, and therefore being committed to bringing certain values from Hashem into Hashem's world. That's what I am committed to try and influence in the world. Shabbat Shalom.